Hey everyone, welcome. It's Friday afternoon, shortly before Shabbat here in Spot. I said yesterday that I would do a live stream today, so I'm doing it. I'm going to keep it pretty short because the time is pretty short. It's good to see you again, be with you again. It's been a while since I've done one of these. So everybody's freaked out about the elections in the U.S. It is correct to believe that the U.S. this election will have an effect not just on the U.S. but on the entire world. What I want to bring out in this relatively short live stream is that we're going through the process of separation, of the sorting out of the revelation, and therefore the sorting out of the confusion between good and evil that has been part of mankind's experience since the fall in the Garden of Eden, since the fall, based on the eating of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. At that time, good and evil became mixed together, confused to the point where there's no evil without a little bit at least of good, there's no good without at least a little bit of evil, and the deepest issue is not that, but that we are confused. People are filled with confusion, and evil, which came from the snake, the primordial snake, has been able to hide beneath the surface. So if you think that things are breaking down, falling apart, coming out of the woodwork, strange, unpredictable, chaotic, scary, weird, I want you to realize that this is a fulfillment of prophecy. This is like a signpost, like a mile marker that is so crucially important for us to embrace, to understand and embrace. The prophet Daniel, who prophesied a lot about these times, said that one of the qualities and characteristics by which we could recognize the time of redemption, the process of redemption, is Yisparo v'Yislavnu kol hadvarim, that all things, in other words, all things that have become confused together, all things that have gotten hidden beneath the surface, will be elevated, sorted, revealed, not sorted, revealed, and separated, so that people will finally be able to separate, to distinguish between what's good and what's not, between what's true and what's false, between what's godly and sustainable, healing, and what's the opposite from the other side, destructive, unsustainable. We have been massively confused, both by this original event of eating from the tree of knowledge, which confused and covered the ability to see, allowed this whole paradigm to begin, and then that's been exploited in every generation by people who do have hidden agendas, who do want power and control, who do want to exploit. All of this is snake energy. But what's possible now, and what's being facilitated by everything that's coming out of the woodwork, I realize that for some it's still confusing, for others it's getting really, really clear. Really clear. It's possible for everybody for it to be really clear. So this is part of the divine process that is separating that shell of snake energy, of what's called klipa in authentic Kabbalah, the impure shell that's hiding the divine light within. The shell, which we could also call evil, or confusion or illusion, is falling off, and the light and the potential is being revealed. Right now we are in the place where it's extremely turbulent. I consider this part of what's happening to be part of the war of Gog and Magog, the final war for redemption, the final war between the forces of good and the forces of evil. These are not all physical forces. They are not all human forces, although they do take residence in countries, in cultures, in individuals. There's no question about that. Often unbeknownst to the people who are, carrying those things. We want to be among the enlightened ones who understand what's happening and why it's happening. So what can you do? What is the most important thing for right now? Educate yourself. Educate yourself in prophecy. Educate yourself in Torah. If you would like to be part of my school, it looks like I'm going to be raising the tuition significantly very soon, because I'll be adding on some amazing transformational processes throughout the entire coming year. So you can empower yourself and make all of this real. But meanwhile, you have a chance to jump in before it's going to be really a lot more let's say, demand more of you to do so, you can check out the school at www.gateofunity.com/school. So educate yourself, enlighten yourself. But meanwhile, wherever you are, whatever level you're at, whatever spiritual connections you're making, you want to understand what this underlying process is. So look deeper. Do not accept what you're being shown by the mainstream media. It's designed to keep us numb. It's designed to keep us confused. It's designed to get us to stop thinking and to be in a state of fear. It really is. Are you in a state of fear? If you're at all in a state of fear or anxiety, guess what? The snake is doing its job. You want to become smarter than the snake. You want to become enlightened. You want to become discerning. So look deeper in terms of Torah prophecy, what the redemption is really about, how to connect to it, not just on a cosmic level. The Lubavitcher Rebbe said so many times that we need to open our eyes and see Mashiach and Geula, see the messianic process and the redemption. It's not just the eyes of the mind. It's not just noticing what's going on and understanding what you're looking at. That takes spiritual training, Torah training, but also to dig deeper and to see what's happening underneath the surface, not to be subject, don't let yourself stay subject to propaganda. Because I can assure you that whatever forces have been put in place over the last decades are not in your favor. They're designed to foster fear. They're designed to foster a herd mentality. So look deeper. Find influencers, find news sources that are not mainstream. Find a few that have different perspectives. Don't follow any perspective. Dig deeper yourself. The only perspective that is absolutely true is the perspective of the Torah. So deeper sources for information about what's happening. Understand what the core of the process is that we're going through now. Learn to understand the general context so that you can more easily discern between good and evil. How do you know, for example, if a political party is positive or negative, is good or evil? I'm not saying that it's always all the people in it are evil. Most people, I didn't say this before, but I need to say it now. It's essential to know. Most people are not bad, even if they're doing things that are bad. I mean, again, in everything good, there's some evil or some bad. You don't like a politician? Guess what? We're mixed. We're all mixed. We're all a mix. Everything's mixed together in us. But what is the core agenda? So understand that nothing's perfect. But then where do you go? That most people, even when they're not fostering a good agenda, but they're supporting what is essentially an evil agenda, it's not because they're evil, it's because they're confused. Remember, Yispara v'Yislavnu, Kol HaDvarim, everything, all confusion is coming up to be clarified. We are meant to be expanding clarity, to be deepening clarity. That's the main thing that I want to help with, one of the main things that I want to help with. Transformation, empowerment, enlightenment also. But we want to be expanding our clarity because that's what's happening. That's the trend in the universe and the cosmos right now. So I encourage you to look toward what's unfolding, what's breaking apart, what's emerging and what's unfolding, where we're going, to educate yourself, to look deeper and to look at yourself. Where is it that you're not thinking deeply? Where is it that you would rather not know when you're putting your head in the sand? Because like it or not, you're not going to be able to. Nobody's going to be able to stay deeply asleep. But we can wake up gently. We can wake up willingly. We can wake up, in a way that's aligned with events. Allow things to move you. I've been saying this over and over the last few months. You must let it move you. You must. So how can you distinguish between, how can you begin to distinguish between a good agenda and a negative agenda? Well, the Torah tells us that when someone is more God-based, even if their religion isn't your religion, even if religion has many flaws, which it does, so humans have flaws, right? But if something is looking more toward godliness, toward morality, toward freedom and liberty, okay, why? Because the Torah gives us free choice. And the more we have the ability to exercise that free choice, the more godly that is. So when you find a political party or an agenda or a person or a movement that is God-based, that supports, I have to say, Israel, not necessarily the government of Israel, which is just like as corrupt as any other government. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying so. But the movement of Israel, the role of Israel, to be a light unto the nations, to be the home for the souls of Israel. So that it's like putting in place in the system, the heart of the system. Israel's the heart of the universe. Everyone is connected. In the times when the temple existed, in the times of David and Solomon, Shlomo Melech, all the nations of the world would come to the temple to offer donations and to receive the light. This is the heart. Everything must be connected to the heart. Kabbalah explains that when everything is connected to the heart, there cannot be any illness. There cannot be any dysfunction, because the core of the heart holds the core of the soul, and the heart flows life force through the system, the body, and the cosmic system, the cosmos, and the globe. These are fractals. These are levels on which the same process occurs. So the heart beats, constantly sending out life force and energy, oxygen, soul, distributing the soul through the system, and then pulls it back and reconnects it to the source faster than we could possibly imagine. That happens on a human level for each of us. That happens on a global level for humanity as a whole, and happens on a cosmic level for all of creation, all of the multiverse, constantly coming in and out of reality, in and out of existence, reconnecting to the heart. So the more we can open up our channels to know what's happening, to align ourselves with it, consciously, emotionally, in our actions, in the way that we perceive things, the faster the darkness will fall off, the confusion will dissipate, the truth will come out, goodness will come out, and we will be able to align with ourselves, connect to that heart, and heal everything, not just our bodies, not just our minds, but our relationships, our governments, our finances, our spirituality, our purpose, everything. So keep your eye on the goal. This is a redemption process. We are heavy in it now. Yes, it was always meant that there would be a war. Thank God, mostly the war is not happening with guns. It's happening between agendas, ideologies, election results, good actors, bad actors, people in between. And it's happening in the personal front as well. It's happening within you. So get yourself awake, get yourself educated. Learn to discern. Look at deeper sources. Don't be lulled into sleep. Don't be ramped up into fear. If that's happening, you know that you're connecting in the wrong way. So as Kabbalah says, the first step, 50% of curing any illness or malady is knowing what it is. So I'm here to help you know what it is. And if you want help leaning into the cure, you can have that as well. Meanwhile, be determined to be conscious, awake, and to get aligned, enlightened, educated, and understand that we're in a divine process. I'm going to leave it at that for today. Lots of love to everybody. If you like this, if you appreciate this, if you're watching live, or if you're watching by replay, please hit like. That makes a difference in how many people see, with Facebook algorithms, everything's pretty controlled these days. So when you hit like, when you leave a comment, it actually increases how many people will organically, automatically see it. Share it with your friends if you feel it's valuable. Bring people into our Facebook group, where we'll be producing many more of trainings. And I'm actually going to start to teach little soul bites from the Authentic Kabbalah texts, probably once a week. In that Facebook group, the Facebook group right now is called Gate of Unity, Release Your Soul Light. So invite people there. If you're not there, go there and request to join. I'll accept you. And I'll see you on the other side. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Lots of love.